We're not watching the Indiana Jones fridge nuke scene, but here, Switzerland.
This is a real-life lore video made possible by Hover. Get 10% off your custom domain you belong to it. A map on Hover at Hover by France, Germany, Italy, and Austria. If you've ever looked at a map of the European Union, you'll notice an awkward blob in the middle which doesn't belong to it, and that blob is Switzerland. Switzerland is famously neutral, and in addition to not being a part of the EU, it's also not a member of NATO, and it didn't even join the United Nations.
Wait, sorry. This map looks a little outdated, dude. This map looks a little outdated.
That blob is Switzerland.
There's a piece of it on that map that's just in there,
but in addition to not being a part of the EU, it's also not a member of NATO, and it didn't even join the United.
We got our fucking passports back, Maurice. Maurice, we got our fucking passports back. All right, buddies. We do a fucking W. We do a W. It's a dub boss, man. It's a big dub boss, man.
Recently in 2002. In fact, Switzerland is so neutral that it hasn't fought a single war in over 200 years. The last one being against Napoleon in 1815. All of this is despite the fact that Switzerland is in the middle of Europe and surrounded by historically more aggressive countries. So why is it that Switzerland has been such a stable and safe place for
because they do the banking for everyone. Drug dealers, Nazis, oil barons, Nazis, killers, murderers, American corporations, Nazis,
centuries,
dictators, Nazis, Nazi gold.
The answer lies in understanding the geography of Switzerland. The country can really be divided into three separate parts. In the south are the Swiss Alps, a gigantic mountain range that covers most of Switzerland's territory and separates it from Italy and Austria. To the west and north are the Jura Mountains, a range much smaller than the Alps but still large enough to separate the country from France. And finally there is the Swiss Plateau, a basin dotted by rolling hills, rivers, and lakes that is home to most of Switzerland's population. It's no accident that Switzerland's major cities are all located in this region instead of the other two, but it's not as easy of a defensible position either. Switzerland has long been a little paranoid about a foreign invasion.
I wonder why. Also, Zurich is beautiful. Switzerland is one of the most beautiful countries I've ever been to. Because they're fucking rich as shit. Also, wait, someone said Hasan mı bu Türk mü ya? Evet, Türk'üm. Zurich.
And it's not without good reason. In the First World War, Germany invaded neutral Belgium in order to attack France in a more vulnerable position. And in the Second World War, Switzerland found herself in 1940 to be completely surrounded by Axis-occupied territory and faced an imminent threat of invasion from Nazi Germany. The invasion never happened, but fears persisted into the Cold War of a potential Soviet invasion, and that attitude has never fully gone away. Switzerland's plan for dealing with a potential invasion from anybody was called the National Redoubt, and it was essentially intended to make any possible enemy look at the map, look at Switzerland, and think to themselves, no thanks, I'll take over something a little easier instead. The first reason why...
Wait, okay, I mean, defensive positions is one thing, but, and also, the everyone enlists in, there's forced enlistment, right? In Switzerland. Switzerland also, unironically, non-K Kona, but has the most guns per capita in the entirety of the European continent. But of course, they have actual gun laws and gun safety measures in that country, and everyone gets proper training. And that's precisely why they have a fraction of the gun deaths per capita in comparison to the fucking United States, even though they have a higher percentage of gun deaths than other European nations. So yeah, they have mandatory service. It's a very interesting country. Yeah, by training you mean mandatory service? Yeah.
Is Switzerland continues to have mandatory male conscription, meaning that all men have to serve in the military for 170 days and receive basic training. They enter into the reserves afterwards and keep their rifles at their home, and although many get exemptions, Switzerland has the ability to mobilize over 200,000 soldiers within 72 hours of an emergency being declared. In addition, every road, bridge, tunnel, and railroad in the country has been designed in a way that they can be remotely blown up to deny a possible invader from ever using them. There are over 3,000 of these points that can be blown up inside of the country, including entire mountainsides that can be detonated to cause a landslide to block off entire roads. In addition to all of this, the modern Swiss military strategy has always been to abandon the plateau and the city centers and retreat almost the entire military into the Alpine region. Here, high in the mountains, the Swiss have built over 26,000 bunkers and fortified positions ranging from anti-tank guns, anti-air guns, or machine gun nests. They are camouflaged like this anti-tank gun that looks like a rock, or this barn that's actually a machine gun nest on the left and an anti-tank gun on the right. And both of these are connected by a tunnel underground. There are
Literally Al-Qaeda tactics, by the way, or just Taliban guerrilla tactics. No meme. Like, that's how they fucking do it. Leaked? Yeah. Now we know about them. Good luck. Good luck fighting against it. It's just like Alabama, but organized.
Camouflage positions like these all over the Alpine region of Switzerland, which means that the entire country is basically one big booby trap, an impregnable castle in the center of Europe. This is why Switzerland has been able to remain neutral throughout some of the most difficult times in
It seems to me like they're not mentioning the usual, or not the usual, sorry, the obvious, which is far more significant than their impenetrable fortress like stature in the middle of Europe or whatever. But that's the fact that they do business with everyone and they have everyone's money
in history. But many now question the importance of this defensive and neutral mindset. Germany, Austria, Italy, and France are today all European Union member states and have no militaristic intentions on conquering Switzerland. The National Redoubt has seen many of its fortresses and bunkers turned into museums in the last few years, and Switzerland is planning on downsizing its military from around 200,000 to only 80,000 by the year 2020. But nonetheless, one place that Switzerland will always be is the safest place in the world to possibly be at in the event of a global nuclear war.
This is what I was mentioning.
Because Switzerland is the only country in the world to have enough nuclear fallout shelters to house their entire population. In fact, Switzerland has enough fallout shelters to house 114% of their population. Meaning that even in the event of a large refugee influx, the country would still have enough shelters to fit everybody inside of.
Including 14%, some of the high-ranking, high-paying members who had the money to be able to get housed by the top customers of the Swiss government.
Of them, all residential buildings inside of the country.
You said 10. I said 10%, dumbass. Okay, I was wrong. I was off by fucking 4%. Suck my dick. Okay, my bad. I said Swiss has a capacity to house like their entire population plus 10%. My bad, dude. I'm sorry that I was off by 4%. Fucking asshole.
Built after 1978 are mandated.
I did say 14. I hate it when chat does this shit. It's not nice, okay? I'm not very good with numbers. So when you fuck with me on that way, on that front, it's not a nice thing to say.
By law to contain a nuclear shelter capable of surviving a 12 megaton blast from a distance of 700 meters away. As of 2006, there are over 8.6 million fallout shelters located throughout the country, ranging in sizes like this in a normal house, up to gigantic public shelters built inside of tunnels that can house over 2,000 people for over 4 months. In the event of a nuclear attack on Switzerland, it is possible that the entire population of the country could retreat to their bunkers and continue fighting off any invader after the bombs have exploded. Not even nuclear weapons can conquer the fortress of Switzerland. And it has been said before that in the event of a global nuclear war, the only survivors would be the heads of state of a few countries, cockroaches, and 8.4 million Swiss citizens. If a nuclear war ever does happen, then the Swiss have enough bunkers for not only them, but a few friends to survive it all through with. So remember this when it may become important later. Switzerland is likely the safest place you could possibly be during the event of a nuclear war or World War III. Before you start making plans to visit though, it would be nice to let other people know about what you just...
That's crazy. Wait, is this the story of the guy who won twice?